I wanted to ask you, what's it like to pick up this award, and do you think it's important to have a healthy relationship with critics over the course of your career?
I think it's important to have a sort of honest relationship with criticism, full stop. Sometimes you feel sensitive and you can't, you've got to register when you're not quite robust enough to take some stuff, and I think quite a lot of the time you have to just be honest enough to know what to hear and what to act on and not be overreactive, oversensitive, but essentially, as an actor or director, your work is always under critical judgment. It's just in the nature of it. Whether you're the first time you show a screenplay or the cut of a movie or whatever, it's under scrutiny. And so you get used to judgment, being in the judgment game, and you're grateful for considered versions of that. And you've got to, and sometimes it hurts, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's very illuminating.
Ken, you've done quite a lot this year. You obviously directed Cinderella to huge success. So you've had a run at the Garrett with your theatre company. How do you choose the next direction? What kind of thing are you going to look for next?
It's often people, and so at the Garrick next week, Red Velvet opens, and that's a long-term relationship with Adrian Lester, who I think is a quite wonderful actor, and his wife Lolita Chakrabarti, who's written this great play. We've been talking about that story for 15, 17 years, so for me it's a thrill to be working with them in the theatre. It's the project first black actor to play Othello in this country, and his story throws up a ton of other things about life and politics, and so I'm there because I feel passionately engaged with them and with that subject. And Lily James and Richard Madden come back from Cinderella to Romeo and Juliet, and it feels like you're led partly by maximising these creative relationships, by coming back and knowing each other, starting a little further down the line of your sort of endeavour, and that's a very, very enjoyable feeling. Thank you.
Mr. Branagh, obviously tonight is a beautiful and very exciting celebration of cinema, but in the past week we've of course had the very sad news that we've lost one of our greatest lights in Alan Rickman. I'm curious, as someone who worked on, of course, films with him, if you had any thoughts yourself about what made him such a special performer, and any memories you have that really are precious to you now.
My memories are of his generosity, particularly to younger actors. I met him as a young student actor at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art when I was 19, and he was so supportive of the play that we were in. So he sort of showed us how a professional actor behaved. And the thing that he did in relation to that institution was, across the following 35 years that I knew him, was keep giving back, quietly, modestly, but passionately. He loved it. And he loved supporting people who were part of something that he knew had given him a great deal. He was very, very aware of his good fortune, although in some senses, he waited a little longer than you might imagine for the great success that he had. But he was generous in the way that he gave back, and consistent in the way that he gave back, and was always put people at their ease. When I went on the Harry Potter set for my first day, it was his second movie, and this is typical of him. He was very, very, very generous at welcoming me in and introducing me to people. Did it all effortlessly. That was a classy part of that guy.